RDP, creating the elastic IP. Any confusion in that or all clear?
From my side, I'm good.
Okay. So just give me a second. I'm uploading a file here. Okay. So just a minute. Just refer this file, okay, to understand the EBS volume. Anyhow, I'm going to explain you now, okay. But to understand this EBS volume, first you have to understand what is the requirement here we are talking about, okay. So whenever you launch any machines, right, whether you are launching the EC2 instance or you are buying a laptop from the market, right, you cannot say that I bought a laptop from the market that is not having the hard disk in that. Okay, hard disk is the important thing, that is for the storage. Okay, without hard disk you cannot run any application. Okay, like if I'm going to ask you, can you run the Facebook application on the Google Drive? Is it possible? Running a Facebook application or WhatsApp application directly on the Google Drive? Okay, or some other type of the storage other than the hard disk? Is it possible?
No.
Right, so exactly same thing, we can store the data. I can store the data in the Google Drive, I can upload the videos, I can upload the movies, everything I can upload it. Okay, and I can watch it also there. But the problem is, if I'm going to try to install any application or something, I cannot do on that particular drive. So for that we require the hard disk. So that's why whenever we are launching any EC2 instance, if you remember, by default they are creating a storage of size 8 GB. Like in the Windows yesterday we taken the storage size as 30 GB, but this is the 8 GB storage. This 8 GB is nothing, just the hard disk of this machine. Okay, so whatever the data you are creating, whatever the file I was creating in the machine, okay, everything was getting stored inside this volume only. So this is the EBS volume, elastic block storage. We say it this type of the storage as a block storage because they stores the data in the block format. Okay. Now, when we got to know that EBS volume or the basically the block storage is important for EC2 instance or for our laptop. Now the question is, if your laptop is having only 100 GB of storage, okay, and now you want to store some 200 GB file or something on that. So what is the usual thing we'll do? Like take an example, in my laptop, I don't have that much space available, okay, but I want to store the data in my laptop. So what are the alternative I can go? Either I can increase my the hard disk size, okay, or either I can attach a pen drive or the external hard drive to my laptop. Yes or no? If you want to get more storage, right, either you can increase your internal storage, or what you can do is you can buy a pen drive or external hard drive. Is this thing is getting clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now, once you got the idea that we have to buy the pen drive or buy the external hard drive, so similarly, we can buy the external EBS volume also. Okay. By default, whenever we launch the EC2 instance, we have the storage available. Good amount of storage is available here. Like in Windows, it was the 30 GB, if you remember. Okay. Anyhow, I am not requiring this machine. I am simply terminating this machine. Okay. But for all the Linux machine, we are having by default 8 GB. But now the question is, if I want to store more data, then I have to go with the EBS volume, other external EBS volume. Okay. There is one more extra benefit we get when we store the data in the pen drive or the hard disk. Anybody can say that? The one benefit is we can store the data more than the actual internal storage of my laptop. Any other benefit you can think of using the pen drive or external hard drive? Just think. Like for what other use cases you use the pen drive or the external hard disk? No? Are we using it to copying the data from one laptop to another laptop or sharing the data from one laptop to another laptop? Yes or no? External hard disk and pen drive.
Yes, yes.
Exactly same way whenever you are using the extra EBS volume, so you can use it to share the data between these two different machines, everything. Okay. So now again the one more question will come in your mind here. Okay. Like first I have to ask you that can you attach a single pen drive to two different laptop at the same time? Can you do that? A single pen drive, you have to attach it to two different laptop at the same time. Is it possible?
No, not possible.
No. So basically, you will be attaching it to the first machine. You will be copying some data in the pen drive. Then you will detach that pen drive. Okay, and then you will attach it to some different machine. Okay, and where you will copy the data again from the pen drive to the machine. So this is the usual thing we do. So exactly all these things, whatever I said you now, okay, that we are going to do the practical in the EPS. Okay, it is nothing anything different. Whatever we are doing on day-to-day basis with the pen drive and external hard disk, exactly same thing we are going to do with the EBS. But again, like whatever I said you, is it so simple in this way? Like whatever I explained you that we can simply attach it, we can simply create it like that. So yes, we can come to the Elastic Block Store, take an example, and I'm coming to this machine. What I can do is I can create the volume. Here you are seeing that most of the storage are 8 GB only. That is the default one. Okay, so whenever we are creating the EC2 instance, this is the 8 GB one is getting created. This 2 GB I don't require. So let me just delete it anyhow because I don't require. So okay, now we have all the 8 GB only. Now take an example. I want to create a EBS volume. It is something like I'm going in the market and I'm buying the pen drive. Okay. So I can create the volume here, but you see that one thing you have to notice that first you have to make sure in which EC2 instance you are going to attach that volume. Okay. So in my case, there are so many EC2 instances there. Okay. And most of the EC2 instance you are seeing is in the 1B itself. Okay. Because 1A, okay, 1A also we have some machines. Okay. And some machines we having in the 1B also. Okay. So just remember that can we buy a pen drive in the India, okay, and can we use it in the USA without moving that pen drive from one country India to the USA? It cannot be possible, right? Means if you want to use that particular pen drive or the hard disk, it should be present in the same physical location where your laptop is present. If your laptop is present in the USA, pen drive is present in the India, it cannot be connected. Okay. So similarly, whenever we are creating the EBS volume, so you have to decide to which machine you want to connect. So take an example, I want to use the EBS volume to sharing the data between these three machines, Ansible server, Ansible node 1, Ansible node 2, these three EC2 instances. So since all these three EC2 instances is running in 1A, okay, since they are running in 1A, so I have to create the EBS volume also in 1A. If I want to connect that EBS volume or pen drive to the this type of the nodes, then we have to create it in the 1B. Is this making sense? That means in whichever EC2 instance availability zone will be there, exactly same availability zone, your volume should also be created. Yes or no? Availability zone is just like a data center, right? So it should be present at the same location. Then only your pen drive will be connected. Are you getting this?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Once this is done, now you are ready to create the volumes. Okay. So you can simply come here. You can click on create volume. I'm going to connect it with the machine 1A only. So I will select 1A. If you want to select with 1B or 1C, that also you can select it. I want the pen drive of size 2 GB. So I'm just giving it 2 GB size. Take an example. Okay. And that's all. We created a pen drive of the size 2 GB and in the 1A and I'm clicking on create volume. So a volume is created of the size 2 GB. Okay. And this is the volume which I created just now. I'm giving the name something like pen. Okay. So I created the pen drive new of size 2 GB. Currently it is in the creating state. Okay. Once it will be available, then we can only attach it to the machine. So it is just like currently I just bought the pen drive and see it is in the available state. I have the pen drive of size 2 GB now. Okay. Now what I have to do is I have to attach this pen drive, okay, to any of my EC2 instance. I can simply click on that pen drive, click on attach, and I want to attach this pen drive to the EC2 instance. Take an example, Ansible server, okay, and I'm clicking on attach follow. Now what will happen is if somebody is going to the instance of the Ansible server, okay, if somebody is going to this Ansible server machine, in the storage section, previously only 8 GB volume was there. Now the 2 GB volume will also come here, right? So this is the extra 2 GB pen drive that I attached. So now this Ansible server machine is having the two storage. One is of size 8 GB, one is of size 2. Is this okay? That we attach that extra volume, whatever we created to this machine. It is just like attaching the pen drive to your laptop. Once you do this, then you have to access. Okay, so how to access? So simply first start the instance. Somebody want to say something? Okay. So first you have to start the instance. We attach the volume or previously automatically. Okay. So let this machine start it. Meanwhile, I'm starting the Ansible node 1 also because later we have to connect that pen drive to this machine also. So let me just check the running instance. So now we have two instances. Okay. Two are running Ansible server and one is the Ansible node 1. Okay. Now in this Ansible server machine, I already connected that 8 GB and 2 GB volume. 8 GB was already there, and this new 2 GB I connected. Okay. Now there are some things you have to understand here. Like, see, what are the things we done till now? We bought the pen drive from the market. Just give me a second. Okay. So we bought the pen drive from the market. Okay. Then we attach that pen drive. Okay. And after attaching that pen drive, okay, we'll be able to access. So currently we done up to 2 steps. We attach the pen drive, we bought the pen drive. Basically, we bought the EPS volume, we attached the EPS volume. Now there are the things that we have to do. Okay. Because whenever we create the storage, everything. Okay. So I don't know how many of you know, but whenever you talk about any hard disk or something, okay, like let me show you, there is a command, search for the disk. Let me just type Windows plus X, you have to press. Someone's microphone is open. If you don't want to speak, you can mute yourself. Disk management is there. Simply click on that. And you will see that in my case, there is a two disk is connected or two hard disk is connected. Okay. One hard disk is connected of size 476 GB, other hard disk is of size 931 GB around. Okay. Now this inside this hard disk, basically the 1 terabyte hard disk, in that two partition is there. One is the D drive and one is the E drive. Okay, so whatever the data I am storing in the D drive and E drive, that is getting stored in this 1 TB hard disk. Similarly, I have one 512 GB storage. Okay, inside that, whatever I am storing in the C drive, that is getting stored here. Okay. So now, can you tell me that, can I format the hard disk? What is the call on you? Can we format the hard disk? Yes or no?
Yes, we can.
We can. Okay. Any other answer than that? Like, can we format the hard disk or can we format the pen drive? One is saying yes. What about others? Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Okay. But you know that you cannot format the hard disk. Like, take an example. This is the disk 0. This is the hard disk, right? If I'm doing the right click, are you seeing any option of format? No, right? This is the disk 1. Are you seeing any option to format? No.
No.
You can format the partition. This is the D drive, right? I can format this. Okay. I can format the E drive. So you can format the partition. You cannot format the hard disk. Is this making sense? Okay. That means if you want to store any data in the hard disk, first you have to create a partition. Okay, then only you can store the data. When whatever the pen drive we are buying from the market, that is already coming with at least one partition created inside it. Okay, that's why when you create a buy a pen drive and you attach it to your laptop, so your laptop will show you a new partition is coming. Like currently it is showing only 3 drive is there: C drive, D drive, E drive. But as soon as I'm going to attach a pen drive, it will be F drive or Z drive. That means automatically a partition is coming. Okay. But in the AWS side, whenever we are creating the EVS volume everything, so we have to create the partition manually. Okay. And whenever you are creating the partition manually, then in that case, what you have to do is you have to format the partition. Okay. Then only you can use it. So that means whenever we buy the laptop from the market, so in most of the laptop, D drive, E drive will be not created. As per our requirement, we create the D drive, E drive, F drive, like that way. Okay. After creating the partition, everything. So exactly same thing we have to do. So that's why the steps here written is after attaching, we have to create a partition, we have to format the partition, then we have to mount the volume. Once we'll do these 3 steps, then we'll be able to store the data. And how to create the partition, everything. For that, all these commands are written. Okay. So this you can take the reference, but anyhow, I'm going to show you. So the first thing what you have to do is you have to connect to the machine in which you attach this 2 GB pen drive. So simply connect to this machine. I am connecting it from the browser itself. Just confirm that whether this font size you will be able to see or not. Are you able to see this font size or is it? Is it good now?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So let me refresh this page again. Okay. The first thing they're asking us to run the command called sudo yum update. So let me just run it quickly. Become the root user. Okay. After becoming the root user, first you have to check that is that 2 GB volume is really attached to this machine or not. From the AWS side, I am able to see that 2 GB storage was there. But internally, you can use a command called fdisk-l. If I'm going to press this command, it will say how many hard disks is connected. So there are 2 hard disks connected to my machine. One is the 8 GB one and another is the 2 GB one. That's well and good, right? Because we have the two hard disk connected to this machine or 2 EVS volume connected to this machine. But in the 8 GB one, you are seeing that there is some things called partition table is present here. Okay, but this thing is missing in this 2 GB one because in this 2 GB there is no partition got created till now. This is totally a new hard disk, right? They did not given any new partition automatically. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to create a partition inside this. Okay, this 2 GB volume one. How we can do it? So when you are creating the partition, you can create the multiple partition. Okay, in a single hard disk, you can create up to 4 partition. Okay, logically you can create unlimited partition, but by default they have the limit of the 4 partition only. So whenever we are having a 1 TB hard disk, right, in our laptop, so what we do, we give 500 GB storage to the D drive and 500 GB to E drive. If somebody want to create a partition of 3, so what they will do, 300 GB they will assign to the D drive, 300 GB they will assign to the E drive, other 300 GB for 5 F drive, like that way. Okay, so similarly here you have to decide how many partition you want to create, whether you want to create the partition 2, 3, 4, 5, like that way. Okay, so whatever the example I shown you in this PDF, okay, there I created a single partition of the size 2 GB. Here I'm going to show you to create the 2 different partition. Okay, one I will be creating the size of 1 GB, another also I will be creating size 1 GB. So basically 2 partition will be created. Okay, of the size 1 GB, 1 GB each. You can create the one partition with the size 1.5 GB also, other you can create with the 500 MB also. That also can be possible. So to do that, you have to simply hit a command fdisk again, and then you have to give the partition name, disk name. This is the disk name. So just copy this disk name. It can be different in your case. So whatever the name you are coming from, that 2 GB partition or whatever the pen drive you connected from that. Okay. Don't attach the 8 GB only because you will get confused which 8 GB is which one. Okay. So that's why. So just paste it and press enter. And also don't attach 100 GB, 500 GB, something like that. Okay, that will be costlier. You have to pay for that. So press enter. So now they are asking that you are ready to create a partition inside this. Do you know the commands, everything, how to create the partition? If you don't know, you can press the M button for help. They are saying you. Okay. So simply you have to write the fdisk and then your hard disk name, press enter. If you don't know anything, press M button for help. They are saying you so many things here, what you can do. They are saying if you want to add a new partition, you can press the N button. So I'm coming here, I will press the N button here. So they are saying which type of the partition you want to create, primary or extended. So see in the primary, they are saying up to 4 partition only we can create. Currently 0 partition is there. So I'm just saying default as P only, press enter. Now they're saying this partition will be number 1 only. By default, it will be 1. Are you sure about this? I will simply press enter. Now they're saying first sector, I'm going to start with 2048. Let it be, press enter. And the last sector, they are saying that do you want to create the entire 2 GB a single partition? So I will simply press enter here. Then a new partition will be created of the size 2 GB. Okay. But if I want to create of only 1 GB, so I can simply write here plus 1 G. 1 G is for GB, M is for MB, K for KB, T for terabyte, P for petabyte. So if I want to create a partition of size 1 GB, I can simply write like this. I will press enter. So a single partition got created of size 1 GB. Again, I want to create one partition. So I will just create N, add a new partition. Again, I am creating P because now there are only 3 partition at C. And I'm saying that, yeah, partition name by default, it will be 2 only. First sector will be this one only. Last sector, automatically, I want to keep up to last now because I don't want to mention anything because there is total 2 GB only, right? So it doesn't make sense also, even if I write here plus 1 G, okay? Because anyhow, it is going to take the entire storage now. Press enter and that's all. The second partition is created of the size 1023 MB, little than 1. If it will be 1024 MB, then it will be 1 GB. Okay, because we just created exact 2 GB storage. So in the exact 2 GB storage, you cannot get the exactly same volume, right? Because this is the 1 terabyte hard disk, 1024 GB, but we are able to access only 931 GB. So just remember that. So that's all. Once this partition is created, simply you have to press the W button to save and exit. That's all. Now let's clear it. If you'll again type the command fdisk-l. So previously you are seeing the partition type of the thing only in this 8 GB one. Now you are seeing this partition here in this machine also. And they are clearly saying that there is a first partition I created with this name of size 1 GB and one more partition is there with the size called 1023 MB. Is this making sense? Whatever we done till now?
Yes, sir.
Like from a single hard disk, we created 2 partitions, something like this. A single 1 terabyte hard disk, we created 2 partitions, D drive and E drive. Now I cannot store directly the data in the 1 terabyte hard disk. Can you tell me that did I am storing the data directly in 1 TB? No, I am storing the data either in the D drive or E drive. Okay, and that is internally getting stored in that 1 TB hard disk. I cannot directly store it in 1 TB one. Okay. So similarly here also, when you created this 2 partition, so before using this partition, you have to format this partition one by one. So how you can do it? mkfs.ext4. And I said you cannot format the hard disk. You can format always the partition only. So I have to just copy this partition name, copy it and paste it here. So it will format this partition. Again, just copy the second name. It was the name as xdf2 only. So I'm directly writing it. So format is done. Once the format is also done, now you can attach this volume. Okay, basically, if you'll see here, we created the partition, we formatted the partition, and what are the commands we used? So this type of the commands we used up to here. Okay. Now the last step is we have to mount the volume. To mount the volume, what you have to do is first you have to write a command called df-h. So this will command say you that what are the things currently mounted. So they are saying that currently one volume with the name /tab/xbda1 of size 8 GB in which 1.9 GB is used and 6 GB is free is mounted to the slash location. Similarly, if you want to mount something, so what you can do is you can create some directory. Take an example, I'm creating a directory with the name D drive. You can create with any name. Okay, so I'm just creating with the name called D drive. Or let me just write like this D. And I'm creating one more directory with the name called E drive. Just for understanding purpose, I'm giving this name only because you are well comfortable in this Windows. That's why I'm giving like this. Now in the D drive, I'm going to attach the first partition df1, and in the E drive, I'm going to attach the second partition. Okay, like that way. So I will simply write the command. I want to mount which one? I want to mount the partition. So I will just copy this. I'll just copy this. I am mounting it to the D drive. Similarly, I am mounting XDF2 to the E drive. Okay, so we mounted this. Now if I'll do the df-h again, so they are saying two more storage. Okay, XDF1 and XDF2. XDF1 size is around 974 MB. Okay, that is mounted to the D drive. And there is one more storage of the size 999 MB. Okay, that is attached to the E drive. So is this making sense now? That two partition I attach to this location, D drive and E drive. So whatever the data you want to store in this partition, or you want to store the data inside this partition, you have to store it from where? You have to store it basically in the D drive and E drive. Okay. So take an example now. If somebody is going inside this D drive, okay, and inside this D drive, I'm creating some directory like directory A, directory B, or directory C. So three directory got created. Okay. Similarly, I'm creating some file also. Touch file 1, file 2, file 3. So this many data I created inside the D drive. Similarly, I'm coming down. I'm going to the E drive. Okay. And in the E drive, I'm creating again some directory. mkdir test1, test2, test3. Okay, like this. Three directory I created here also. Okay. So now I stored all the data in my pen drive. Okay, now I don't want to require from this machine. My main motto was to copy some data in that particular pen drive. That I already done it. I will close this machine. Then what I want to do is I will unplug this pen drive, right? So, okay, one command we missed it. So let me just again connect to this machine. So whenever you remove the pen drive from your laptop, how you usually remove? Anybody remember?
Yeah, we do the eject. After that, we remove the pen drive.
We eject it, right? So similarly here, what you have to do is you have to simply say, I want to U-mount D drive, and I want to U-mount E drive. Both the drive I am mounting. Okay, so basically both the partition will be unmounted, and if you'll see df-h, now nothing will be visible because both the partition I unmounted. Okay, and since I unmounted, now what I will do is I will again come to the EC2 section. I will go to this particular volume. Okay, in this volume, this 2 GB volume, I will simply click here, and I will click on action, and I will refresh this page. Let me first refresh this. Click on this. Click on action. I will simply click on detach volume or force detach volume. If you don't do the U mount, okay, then you can click on the force detach volume. They will automatically done the unmounting and then they will detach it. But if you already run the U mount command, then you can simply click on detach also. I'm simply detaching this pen drive. So now this pen drive is detached. Currently it is in use, but now let's wait to become it available. Okay, it will take little bit time to detach it. Now it's become available. As soon as it's become available, now I can attach it to some different machine. I'm saying I want to attach this, and definitely I can attach to the machine which is running in 1A only. Okay. So now I'm connecting it to the node 1, and I'm clicking on attach volume. So now this time I attach this 2 GB storage, not in the Ansible server machine. Okay. In this storage section, you see that there is nothing 2 GB. Okay. But in the Ansible node 1, now we have the 2 GB here. Okay. So I'm simply connecting to this machine. Now, can you tell me that inside this machine, do we have to create the partition again or not? We already have the data in my pen drive, right? So we don't have to create the partition everything again. That is the one-time process only. So if I write the command call fdisk-l, so we'll see that whatever the partition we created, that is visible here. So why we'll require to create the partition? Okay, simply what we can do is we can create two directory here. You can create the directory with the same name also, or you can create the directory with the different name also. Like I'm creating with different name, pen drive 1, pen drive 2. Okay. Now, just what you have to do is you have to say, I want to mount the first partition dev/xbdf1. Okay. To which location? Pen drive 1. And then we are to mount XDF to the second partition to the location called pen drive 2. Now, if I do the df-h, again, they will see that these two storage got connected. Okay. Now, the benefit is as soon as you attach this two partition to this particular, this two directory, right? So now if somebody will go inside this pen drive directory, so pen drive 1 actually. So see, ls, all the files, whatever directory A, directory B, directory C, file 1, file 2, file 3 created, everything is visible. Similarly, if I'll go in the pen drive 2, do ls. So see, all the data is present. Test 1, test 2, test 3. Okay, so now you can share the data. Whatever the data I can create from this machine, that also I can keep it. Again, I will attach it to different machine. There will be able to access it. Is it making sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Currently,
What
we
is the
created
lost plus
multiple
found?
partitions. Yes. See.
Hello. Yeah. What is the lost plus found means?
A lost plus found is basically a tool they created automatically when you attach the EPS volume. Okay. To just make sure that if anything wrong will happen, so they will be able to recover the data. Okay. So they just keep it here. So there is nothing, anything. They just created a file here. Okay. With the lost plus found is there. That is just helping us to restore the data in case of the data will be basically deleted or something. That is from the AWS side. So you don't have to worry about. Okay, whenever you
Oh,
will be attaching the EPS volume, there will be lost
this is
plus
nothing
one.
but a hidden file, right?
What?
Hidden file or hidden directory, right? This is,
No, this is not the hidden directory. If we will try to go inside this now, so if we do ls, so there is nothing there, right? So, but when we require some hidden thing or something, right? Not hidden actually. Basically, just think like this: na, something wrongs will happen with the hard disk. Have you tried to recover anytime the hard disk if something wrong happened, right? So that recovery can be done when there will be some empty space will be there in your hard disk. If your hard disk is totally overwritten, recovery cannot be possible. If you know about how to recover the hard disk, everything. Okay. And that's why even like I don't know if you are watching any sci-fi movies or something, okay, but in the sci-fi movies you will be usually seeing that if something wrong happens, what the people do is they will format the hard disk, right? And when they format the hard disk again, that hard disk is taken by some police officer or something like that. So in that case they say that we are trying to recover the hard disk. Have you seen like that? Like even the hard disk is deleted, everything is removed from the data, everything is removed, but still they are saying we are recovering the data from that hard disk and it is going to take some time. Have you seen anything like that anywhere? Anybody? No. Everybody is blank. What happened? Have you did not understand? See, take an example. There is some important data in your hard disk, right? And you don't want that somebody other can see it. So what you done is you formatted the hard disk, right? So
yeah.
I'll be not going to be caught or something. But still some people are saying that I can recover the data from that hard disk, right? Now the question is how they will recover it. So basically I said you whenever you are formatting it now, so basically you are deleting the partition table. Okay, let me show you this. This is actually the complex thing. The upper level of the Linux training, you'll get all this idea. Let me just tell you. See, when I am doing this command -l, okay, so these two things, whatever the partition you are getting, now this is coming from the partition table. Okay, this partition table will be there, then only you can connect. So whenever you format, this partition table will be deleted. Okay, but that doesn't mean your data is deleted. Okay, currently it is not in any order. So basically what is the partition table looks like is internally in the Linux, it will look something like this. So see how the data is getting stored in our pen drive or the hard disk. It is in the 1010 format, something like that, right? So partition table is just like a column. Okay, they create everything in a column. Okay, so all the data will be in the synchronized order. Okay, So first I have to read this data, then we have to read this data, something like this. Okay. So like this way they will be doing. But once you deleted this numbering, okay, a starting numbering, that partition table from where it is coming, okay, then all this data will be unclustered, right? So nobody will be able to read that after reading this data, I have to read this data. So that data will never going to make sense, okay? But that doesn't mean all the data got deleted. Data is still there. So if anyhow I can recover this numbering system again, then we'll be able to read your data again. Okay, and when this data will be actually deleted in the hard disk, so take an example, you have a 100 GB hard disk with you, okay, and in that 100 GB hard disk, 50 GB is filled, okay. So when you done the format, so usually you will see that all the 100 GB is free, okay, but in actual only 50 GB is free because 50 GB was preoccupied previously, right? So when you store up to 50 GB of data in your new pen drive, okay, again after formatting, so this will be stored in the free space only. Okay. After that 50 GB, when you start to store like 55 GB or something, okay. So this 55 GB, how they are going to take the space because they have to overwrite the content. When they will try to overwrite it, then only your previous data will be deleted. Okay, but whenever you do the format, logically you see that 100 GB is free, but data is still present. Okay, so if somebody some formatted the data and again you did not pasted any new content inside this pen drive, so you can recover the data from the pen drive anytime. And there are so many recovery tool available in the market. Okay, you can search in the Google that recover pen drive or something. Okay, and you will get tons of tool available. Some are free, some are paid. Okay, but until and unless you can recover the data, okay, if nobody is written some data in the pen drive, if there is 2 GB pen drive is there, somebody formatted it, and again they written some different content, okay, in that 2 GB pen drive. Okay, you entirely filled again that 2 GB pen drive. Then you cannot recover the previous data. You can only recover the latest data. Okay, overwritten data cannot be recovered. So just keep that in mind. That's why recovery, nobody can guarantee that I will be able to recover 100% your data. Okay. They will be able to recover only that part of the data that is not overwritten in your pen drive. Is this making sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is usually a little bit complex concept. Okay. If somebody have the prior idea, they will be easily able to understand. Even if you're getting 50 to 20% also, that is more than it. Okay. Usually we create a single partition only, okay, because we can directly attach a single partition to this machine, everything. But I shown you to create the multiple partition also, and maximum 4 partition you can create. So like this way, and here whatever I shown you in this practical, I created a single partition of size 2 GB. Okay, so after pressing enter 4 times, okay, we created a single partition of size 2 GB. So this example I shown you there. Just practice it, that EBS volume part, okay. Try to create one pen drive, try to do the format, attach it, try to connect with different EC2 instance, see whether you are able to access the data or not. And once you've done that, then again try to create one more pen drive, and this time without seeing the command, everything, let's try, okay, that you are able to do it by seeing without taking any reference from this document. So you will get the learnings. Okay, and EBS volume is the type of the things you will be going to do on daily day-to-day basis as a DevOps engineer. Okay. So you should be comfortable with it. Okay.
Okay.
Any other thing you want to ask anybody?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So again, simply again, if you don't want to use this, you can simply do the U mount. Okay, and you have to give the location. I mounted this to the pen drive 1. I will say so that is unmounted. Now if I do the df-h, so see pen drive 1 is gone because now that is not mounted. Again, if I do unmount drive 2 df-h, that is also gone like that way. So just remember that. And don't unmount this slash drive or something, entire operating system is going to crash. Okay, so don't do like this. That unmounting the slash drive directly. Okay, because this is the actual your 8 GB hard disk. Okay, from your entire operating system, everything is installed there. So that is the thing. Okay, so just practice it. If any other thing will come, then we'll take it in the next class. Okay, thanks. Have a nice day.